Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for inviting me to this conference. In a virtual way, I would love to give some insights into Ghent's food policy work, where we've been working for 6 years now, and I think we've really managed to make many steps forward. And I would like to share some of our insights in how we've done it in Ghent and how it might inspire you. In Ghent, we've set 5 strategic goals forward 6 years ago on our food policy work, which is called Ghent aan Garde. Our food policy work sits in the climate department, so that's the framework where we work under with our food policy work. We have 5 goals. I'll talk through them and give some concrete examples to make it more specific on what we do and what it looks like. It all started really from a political mandate from the previous coalition agreement that gave us the mandate to really set forward food policy and a food policy council, which is a very important thing to have. Our first objective is having a more local and more visible food supply chain. It's about improving access to the local markets for the producers, but also connecting producers and consumers in and around the city, and also providing space for food production, which is not always the easiest thing to tackle. Often we have started in the past 6 years with quick wins and easier projects, and across the years we've tackled the more complex challenges. For short food supply chains, for example, we've started with competitions where we gave financial support to new startup initiatives, but the past years we've really invested a lot in tackling a challenge that was not taken up spontaneously by the market. We see that there's a growing number of initiatives for local food for individuals and families, but there was no easy solution for the professional buyers of food in the city. Thinking of shops, of caterers, of chefs, of restaurants. Some of them had local products in their offer, but they took a lot of effort from their side to find the right suppliers in the city to provide them with these products. What we've built scenarios in how to build a solution for this with the producers, with the chefs involved. We took the best scenario and we gave financial support to somebody who wanted to get this project started. So 1 year later now, we are working with different farmers in the city region, and we deliver through one web shop and one logistic project. We deliver restaurants and shops in the city. It's a multi-stakeholder cooperative model, so both the chefs as well as the shops as well as the farmers are owner of this logistic system, which is very innovative. So this is actually one of the quick examples of where we have tackled more complex challenges by building scenarios in a co-creative way and trying out solutions on the market. Another project where we've invested a lot is in space for food production, which is not easy. On the one hand, we try to look to the available space in the city in a creative way. Think of sharing gardens. Even in a city context, there are people with houses and gardens that have space, green space for vegetable gardens, but are not necessarily using it. Others, on the other hand, live in small apartments and would love to start a vegetable garden, but don't have the space. And we actually try to connect this offer and demand within the city, and that has worked because we've been surprised by how much as well offer as well as demand are out there on the market, and how we do manage to connect people and match the offer and demand that is out there. So often what we do with our food policy work is provide a platform, provide a meeting place, both online and offline, where people can meet, can connect, and where we can match people according to what they need, whether it's expertise or space. One of the other examples when we talk about space is what we've done with 10 hectares of city-owned agricultural land on the market. We haven't sold it, but we give it in use for free, but in return we want sustainable food production that is city-oriented according to local short food supply chain principles. So that has worked well and is now a first project where we hope to scale up further in the coming years. Our second goal is on sustainable food production and consumption. And consumption, because in a city you mainly have lots of consumers rather than producers. It's also about ourselves as a city government and how we procure our food, how we buy our food, and how we can make it more sustainable, and also all the events taking place in the city and how we can make sure that the food being catered there becomes more sustainable. Some of the examples of what we've done here is we try to help people that invest energy in vegetable gardens in being successful. So we have a help desk where they can ask any questions they have, no matter how small their vegetable garden is. But we've also coached many neighborhood gardens and school gardens in the city. So what we do there is we provide expertise and we make sure those experts are available to go out there in the schools and in the neighborhood gardens to share their expertise and to help people to make sure that how they implement their vegetable garden is in an optimal way, and make sure that their energy converts into a successful vegetable garden program. What we also do there is not only individual coaching per project, but also build the networks. We do workshops where they join each other. We do bicycle trips where we visit different neighborhood gardens, etc. So we also try to build a network so they can strengthen each other with the expertise that is out there in the city. When it comes to food procurement, I think we've invested a lot in the city in more sustainable school meals. We are at 25% organic ingredients now. We'll continue to try to increase it. We have lots of fair trade ingredients. We look at seasonal products. We try to see how we can make it as local as possible. It's about animal welfare, sustainable fish, etc. So we try to integrate those different criteria in how we buy our food from a city perspective. And we've also done educational campaigns on translating those criteria into the context of the children and the school canteens, and explain to them what organic means, what sustainable fish means, etc. One of our big and successful campaigns is Thursday Veggie Day. We've been a veggie city for 10 years now on Thursdays, so which means on Thursday all the food that we buy as a city, whether it's for catering in schools, whether it's for catering at own events or in our company restaurants, will be vegetarian. But we've also promoted this campaign at other institutions to the citizens, and so we've managed actually to have about 7% of citizens being vegetarians now, and we will continue to build new campaigns to increase the plant-based diets rather than meat-based diets. So we continue to work on this. Our third strategic goal is on the social value of food, because actually what's been very interesting in our city that often food and food production, vegetable gardens, but also the employment possibilities of the food sector have proven to be very interesting to achieve other goals that the city is working on, such as social cohesion or employment. And so food is a very interesting tool and a very powerful tool there within your communities. So that's been very successful across different initiatives. And what we've been working on these last years really is having better insights and better access to healthy, sustainable food for every citizen. And it starts with building knowledge. Is there hunger in the city? Where is the hunger? Where are the food deserts? Where is there difficulty to access fresh food? And then how can we build new initiatives, new connections, new opportunities, new dynamics to increase this access to food for everyone in the city. Our fourth goal is on food waste and reducing food waste. Again, we've started with quick win projects, one of them being a leftover box, because we thought that it was also an idea coming out of our Food Policy Council, and I'll talk about the council in a minute. Where we see that in countries like the UK and the US, it's a habit of people that they dare to ask to take their leftovers home. And in Belgium that was not the case yet. So we were thinking, how can we change people's behavior when it comes to their leftovers in a restaurant? And we launched our own box in a sustainable version, compostable. We distribute it for free to restaurants, and we do campaigns around it. And actually we really managed to have our bag our box in over 100 restaurants today in the city. And it's more and more restaurants coming to us saying, hey, my customers are asking to have this box, can I get it from you? So we see that we manage to impact people's personal behavior and how they behave when it comes to food, not only with the vegetarian eating habits, but also with the leftovers in a restaurant setting in this case. On the other hand, this remains a small project when we look at the volume of the food that we avoid being wasted there. So one of the bigger initiatives we launched is Food Savers, and it's another project that has come out of a co-creation project with the stakeholders involved. So there's a lot of offer of food surpluses coming from the retail sector, wholesale market, producers or farmers. On the other hand, there's a real need for food for people in poverty. So we try to match both of them. What we do is we go and pick up those food surpluses from a central logistic hub. We go and pick them up and we redistribute them to those social organizations, being food baskets as well as social restaurants or social supermarkets in the city. And this project has proven very successful. We had intended to achieve about 100 tons of food recovery per year, and after 2 years we've achieved 1,000 tons, so it's grown much bigger than what we had expected. We have reached over those 2 years over 50,000 of citizens, and if you know that we're a city with 250,000 inhabitants, that's a huge amount of people that we connect to with this project, and we deliver food to them in one way or another, whether it's through fresh fruit and vegetables or through meals in the social restaurants. We make sure that they get access or better access to healthy food. On the other hand, there's still a lot of work to be done on food waste, and one of the new focus domains will be the food waste in households, and how can we help households decrease the food that is being wasted at their place. And then the fifth goal is that there will always be food waste, and how can we reuse the value of it and give it value within the food system. On the one hand, it's about collecting organic waste, but on the other hand also, how can we use this waste, organic waste, at the neighborhood level. To give one example of a project that we still have is that we've reintroduced pigs at different wasteland areas in the city. They are being taken care of by people from the community who find food waste to give to the pigs. So they take care of them, they nourish them, and in the end the pigs get eaten by the neighborhoods themselves. So it closes the loop beautifully, and it is also very interesting from an awareness building perspective. We also have some overarching initiatives. We're connected to some international organizations and initiatives on food policy work, like the Milan Food Policy Pact. We're part of the global partnership of the RUA Foundation. We are linking into the FAO and the WHO. But then, looking at the governance level locally, I think what is very important for us is our Food Policy Council that has a real mandate to steer the policy of the city. So it's really multi-sector, multi-stakeholder policy making. They have defined our operational goals, so we've started with the 5 strategic ones. They've developed them into operational ones. We're working with the Food Council now to set real specific targets for the coming years in where do we want to go as a city. And since 2 years now, they also have a budget authority, so they also have their own budget that they can use to invest in new initiatives or projects. And then last of all, if I look at to conclude and to wrap it up, if I look at the role of the city within these different projects, we try to be very flexible and look for the opportunities out there. We provide a strategic framework, we have an online and an offline hub. We try to be the meeting point and match the needs within the city. The quick wins are strengthening dynamics out there, and how can we push those in the right direction and make sure they move ahead fast. On the other hand, we've influenced, as I said, behavioral change of the people with vegetarian eating habits, with their food waste. So we also really try to have an impact on people's personal behavior when it comes to food. We have our own initiatives such as Food Savers, redistributing food food surpluses. On the other hand, sometimes we say we want to have this developed by the market and we will give you financial support to get it started. And then what is very nice is that as a city, we've been really recognized as a pioneer on our food policy work, which is a very, very nice push to keep moving forward. Last year we won the Transformative Action Award from the Sustainable Cities platform, and this year we were very lucky to receive the Global Climate Action Award from the United Nations for our food policy work. So it's a very beautiful recognition, and hopefully what we do in Ghent and how we do it can continue to inspire other cities around the world. But I'm also very modest, and there's still so much to learn also for us from other cities worldwide. I'm sure there's a lot of knowledge out there in your cities as well that can help each other move forward. So let's connect, let's share, let's make the food system more sustainable. Thank you very much for your attention.